Congressman Keith Ellison on the line with us. He is the
Hey, Tom.
hey Congressman. You can tweet him at Keith Ellison. His website ellison.house.org, and of course Democrats.org as the deputy director of the DNC, and of course brilliantly representing the 5th District of Minnesota. Congressman Ellison, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, man. Always good to be on with you.
Thank you. You know, one of the things that amazes me is how if a Republican farts in the middle of the afternoon, it becomes a major story on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. But when Democrats actually do really cool stuff, it doesn't even get covered. The Congressional Progressive Caucus is the largest caucus in the Democratic Party, and you guys just introduced a Debt-Free College Act, and I'm not seeing a damn word about it anywhere. Can you tell us about this?
Well, that's why we're so grateful for you, man. I mean, you know, you're like one of the few people who really want to let folks know about good things going on. I mean, I got to tell you, a lot of times I'll meet with progressive community members who will say stuff like, "How come you guys aren't doing anything?" I'm like, it's a little more complicated than that. We are in a media blackout about any progressive news, and you know, but you asked about the debt-free college program. So here's the thing, man. We believe that with 44 million Americans having debt totaling about $1.4 trillion, that is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not only is it a bad,
it's unprecedented. It's never happened before, too. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Well, and not only is it bad because it's hella bad, but it is unnecessary, right? This is a choice that has been made for students and American families by people who want to make money on servicing and lending money. And the result is that, you know, if you listen to the national real estate folks, they'll tell you that because of college debt, they're seeing a 35% reduction in home purchases by young people. You know, they're hurting the rest of the economy by their debt overhang. And by the way, there is no dischargeability of student debt, not even private debt. I mean, almost all of it is co-signed.
Right.
And so it really is a big, fat, giant ripoff. And by the way, groups like Navient and formerly Sallie Mae, they are part and parcel of the problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, this is, I mean, you'll recall Ronald Reagan, when he was governor of California, ended free college education in California and famously said, "Why should I pay for the education of brats who protest my policies?" And then he became president and began and put into place, you know, Bill Bennett as our education secretary, a guy who had run for president before 1980 on the platform of doing away with the Department of Education. And Bill Bennett began the process of making it, you know, very, very expensive to go to college. And now we've got this situation. We've got $1.4 trillion in college debt. It's completely unnecessary. And this is another overhang from these insane Republican Reaganista policies. Anyhow, pardon my interrupting you, sir.
No. What you said was critical for people's understanding, because if I'm 54 years old, if you talk to someone my age, we'll tell you about how we used to be able to go to college on a summer job.
I did.
If you talk to somebody my son's age who's like 28, he's like, "I never heard of such a thing, and I don't believe that it's even possible."
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and so look, the society has shifted. It doesn't have to be this way. So what we did, we introduced Debt-Free College Act of 2018. And this is a bill that says, look, we will, the federal government will fund a match for states that are willing to put up the money to make sure that kids can graduate from college debt-free. Now, I personally believe the richest country in the history of the world can have free college. And if it's good enough for Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and a whole bunch of other countries, then that's good enough for our people as well. But debt-free college would simply create a situation where young people with a greater appropriation and commitment from our government will be able to graduate without carrying a massive debt load like they can now. People who say it's not possible, those are the cynics. Don't believe them. We've done it before. We can do it again. We just need to generate the amount of public will that would be necessary. And I think when you see young people leading the fight for gun safety, leading the fight for immigration justice, racial justice, I think we can parlay that into a movement which gives us debt-free college.
And this is not a radical or new thing. You were talking about, you're old enough to remember being able to go to college on a summer job. I went to Michigan State in the late 60s, and I put myself through, and I didn't graduate, but I put myself through college, both Lansing Community College and Michigan State University, working as a waiter and a dishwasher at Bob's Big Boy, and changing tires and pumping gas at the Exxon station on Trowbridge Road. My mother, in the early 1940s, graduated from Michigan State University, and she put herself through college. Her mother was very poor. Her father died when she was 13 years old, and she put herself through college working as a summer lifeguard. She was able, as a lifeguard in the summer, to make enough money to pay for her entire college education at MSU. This was normal. This is the history of this country. It was normal. And what people have to understand, the situation we have right now is abnormal. It was brought to us by Reagan, and it is explicitly to destroy the young people, the lives of the young people who were protesting Reagan's crazy policies in the 80s.
And so this is what your information is what young people need to know, so that they know that we can change this thing around. I mean, look. I think that the Trump presidency is the worst thing ever, but it really is, and I think you're implying this, it is a culmination of a number of bad things that have happened.
Oh, yeah.
Starting with Reagan and Bennett and these guys who decided that public education was not a public benefit, but actually was something that was a commercially exploitable thing, and they wanted to essentially ration opportunity in the United States.
Yep.
Because that's just what is essentially happening. So I think that the debt-free college fight is a fight that is one that I'd like to see young people prioritize. It's something that doesn't just hit young people too, by the way, Tom. As you know, there's a lot of older folks who are hooked into these Parent Plus loans.
Yep.
And their interest rates are very high on these loans, and they're even garnishing Social Security checks. Essentially, they have tried to commercially exploit the pursuit of knowledge. It's wrong. We don't have to put up with it. Let's fight back.
Yeah, I'm with you. Congressman Ellison, if people want to call their member of Congress and support your legislation, we just have a couple of seconds. What should they say when they call their congressman or woman?
They should call me and say, I support the Debt-Free College Act of 2018.
Great.
And put me down, and we'll keep folks informed. So thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Congressman.